Hey everybody, welcome to Go Bold. My name is Joetey, and today I'm coming to you from the Canadian Coast Guard base in Victoria, British Columbia, Canada. And behind me is the United States Coast Guard cutter, Eagle. And it is the only tall ship in the United States Coast Guard, and it's a bark, which means it's got 3 masts. The Coast Guard cutter Eagle is a training ship assigned to the United States Coast Guard Academy, and it serves as an afloat school, in essence, for cadets at the United States Coast Guard Academy. Now, they're based in New London, Connecticut, and they routinely do sails around North America as a training opportunity for the cadets. So this is a very special and very rare opportunity to see the ship, and we're going to go aboard and have a quick tour. So welcome everyone to Go Bold, and I hope you enjoy this video. Hey everybody, here we are on board the U.S. Coast Guard cutter Eagle, and I'm joined with Cadet Kevin Miner of the U.S. Coast Guard Academy. Kevin, thank you so much for joining me today. Really appreciate you being here.
Yeah, no problem. Glad that you were able to come aboard today.
Yeah, thank you for hosting me. Really appreciate it. This is a very rare opportunity to be aboard. This is a one-of-a-kind ship in the United States Coast Guard, and my understanding is that it's attached to the U.S. Coast Guard Academy, and it's a training vessel.
Yes, it is. We took it from Germany in 1946 as a war reparation. Ever since then, we've been using it to train officers going through the Coast Guard Academy.
Right on. You know, so one of the first things I like to do with anybody that I interview is I ask their motivation to serve. So what made you join the Coast Guard, how did you get into the Academy?
So for me, I really wanted to join the Coast Guard because I really like their search and rescue mission and some of the humanitarian things that we do more than other branches. So that's kind of what led me to that. The Academy, honestly, my mom wanted me to get a college education. So I did what I could to get best of both worlds and ended up with an amazing deal. Worked hard in high school, applied. I believe my class was a 12 or 13% acceptance rate. So getting my acceptance was a huge deal. Joined, and ever since then, I was about a year ago now. It's been a great time since.
Good for you. And for people who aren't familiar, where is the U.S. Coast Guard Academy located?
So we're based in New London, Connecticut, and that's also Eagle's home port.
Okay, right on. So yeah, so here we are on board the Eagle. Tell me a little bit about this ship. Like, you being a cadet in the Academy, what gets you to sail on this ship? Like, what is the purpose of the Eagle?
So the Eagle is a training vessel for us, just basically being out at sea. So a lot of the basic nautical things that we need to learn, we're able to do so on Eagle. That's going to be anything from charts to navigating by the stars to basic firefighting to, for this vessel specifically, climbing up in the rigging and dealing with sails, which is going to be more of a team building kind of evolution since we don't have any other sail ships.
Yeah, right on. Well, it's a very cool classroom, and on this particular sail now, you are in Victoria, British Columbia here. Yep. This is the first time the ship, or the ship is back here in Victoria after an extended hiatus. Like, I think the last time,
it was 2008 was the last time we were on the West Coast.
Right, yeah, 2008. So this is really cool. So yeah, you're going to be kind enough to show us around the ship a little bit. You know, whatever time we've got.
Yeah.
I'll let you lead on, and maybe you can point out some of the kind of unique features of the Eagle.
Awesome. Well, then to start, we're actually on the forecastle right now, which is one of the foremost parts of the ship. In front of us, you'll see the bowsprit, which is the part extending out. That's where we'll have our flying jib, outer jib, inner jib, and staysail. Further back, you'll see 2 yellow machines. Those are the 2 mechanical components we have on the ship. Those are for our anchors. Those are actually the only things that we really use regularly mechanically. Everything else we do by hand and with pulleys.
Right on.
So it's kind of.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I guess that, it's a good time to ask. How many cadets on the ship, and how many regular crew?
So right now we have 221 people on board, which is a lot for this size of a vessel.
Sure.
It's a lot for any vessel, really.
Right.
We have about 150 cadets. We have about 50 permanent crew and about 21 people that are on temporary duty to help with training.
Beautiful. Awesome. Okay, cool. Right on.
Start the tour. That's kind of the big stuff here is the anchors, the sails here. So we can go down to the waist now.
Yeah.
Maybe down these stairs.
Absolutely. I'll follow you.
In the meantime, some of the kind of brief history. It was built in 1936 by Nazi Germany. And then in 1946, we took it as war prize. And ever since then, the U.S. has been using it to train anybody coming through Officer Candidate School or the Coast Guard Academy.
Right on. Perfect.
So as we come down here, some of these lines that we pass here are going to be what we use to actually set and douse the sails. These are all going to be for the lower sail, upper sail, to gallant sail, and royal sail on the foremast.
Beautiful.
As I said earlier, everything's done by hand and pulley systems. This is one of the biggest pulley systems we have on board. This raises the yard arm. Usually you'll have at least 6 people on this specific line, but we usually get as many people as we can just for ease.
Sure. Yeah. And how have you found it to be on board this ship? Like, what's it like, living on board? Because from New London, Connecticut, you've come all the way around to the West Coast now, and it's an old ship, right? So, like,
Yes.
what's it like at the living accommodations and?
The living, it's a little bit tight, especially when we have as like max capacity on board. Otherwise, it's pretty good. It's about just under 300 feet. It's 295 feet. So it's pretty spacious when you kind of need to get around and move around. And the cooks on here, the food, phenomenal.
Nice.
Some of the most important thing, it's the easiest way to keep morale up, definitely the food. They do a great job of it here.
Fantastic. Awesome.
Yeah, so I've loved it. I've had a great time on board. No complaints, really.
Right on. And how long did it take you to get your sea legs?
It took me about 2 or 3 days. It definitely takes some people a bit more.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just depends on the person. For me, it wasn't too bad. Some people got seasick very quickly.
Sure.
Okay, this is the waist. This is where cadets actually will be hanging out a lot of the time when we have off time. Yeah, we'll also muster here. We'll meet as groups. If there's training, it'll happen here, just because this is probably one of the biggest open spaces on the boat.
Right. And so in terms of like actually learning seamanship, obviously you go through whatever classes you do before you get on board the ship.
Yes.
But then once you get on ship, you obviously have the regular crew that would be, I guess, guiding you and showing you the ropes, so to speak.
Yep.
And then is it kind of trial by fire, or obviously in a professional way?
Yeah, it very much, I would say, is. They're definitely watching, making sure everyone's safe. For some of the classes, navigation-wise, that we take before, a lot of it's more of a refresher, and we'll have duties, and we'll do that, and we'll make sure we understand what we're doing, and then we'll execute it.
Right.
Other than that, you figure it out. You have people that'll show you, so if you don't quite have it, they'll help you out. The crew here is one of the best crews I've ever worked with. They really are amazing. They make or break the ship. For sure.
That's awesome. And when you are on board this ship, do you have to serve, or do you have to stand a particular watch? Are the cadets assigned watches? Or?
Yes, so the cadets have watches, and once we do training and qualified, we'll stand those watches alone. Depending on what they are, they can be helm, they can be lookout, they can be what we call aux watch, which is watches in the engine room. We'll get qualified and stand those alone, but until we're qualified, we have a crew member with us to teach us. But we do have that. It's a rotating schedule, so then you don't get stuck on the mid-watch from 0 to 4 a.m.
Right.
over and over again.
Right.
It's a pretty even, fair schedule.
Oh, that's cool. Awesome.
Especially in port, we'll have a switching schedule too.
Right. Beautiful.
So from here, if you want, we can go up to the back of the boat.
Sure.
Go see the steering and the helm.
Absolutely, yeah, for sure.
We have one diesel engine on board. It's 1,000 horsepower. It's an 8-cylinder. That's really our only backup to the sails. Otherwise, we do try to sail under the sails as much as we can, which makes steering a little bit more difficult sometimes, just because you gotta find a sweet spot for the sails.
Right, totally.
Now, in order to secure the proposed tours in 5 minutes.
this is getting towards the fantail. Right next to us is the quarterdeck and the bridge. This is where a lot of the major decisions will be made. All the navigational stuff and systems are all in there. To actually drive the ship, we have the helm right here. So we'll usually have about 4 people on helm at a time. We'll have 4 or 5. So we'll have 4 people on the sides, so 2 on each side, and then we'll have 1 person in the middle. So right here we have the gyro compass, and the magnetic compass is a backup, and we'll have somebody in the middle monitoring those as we're moving along. And then right here, we actually have the throttle controls. So when we do use the engine, we'll have somebody else that is here monitoring the engine where we need it. Okay, then we can head further back. Actually, real quick, if you look on the steering wheel, at the very top, it says U.S. Coast Guard Cutter Eagle. This is one of the ones that we've replaced and actually have our name on it. The wheel that we're about to see on the back has the original vessel's name on it, Horst Wessel. So we'll see that right now.
Yeah, very cool.
Behind me, we have the original wheel. It has the original name on it, which is Horst Wessel. It's right here, as you can see. This is our backup steering also, so if we happen to lose our main steering, we'll send people back here and either use radios or human chain to relay commands back and forth.
Excellent. Okay.
So, and then as we come around this way, this building that you'll see in the middle is our CIC. If there's any disaster or emergency on board the ship, command and those designated will go in here and they will make decisions to keep the boat afloat and administer those throughout the boat.
Awesome. And so, Kevin, you know, this is a traditional sailing ship, 3 masts. And, you know, you just described the CIC here and, you know, you're talking about inertial navigation before. So how much modern technology is incorporated into Eagle? You know, it's still very much a sailing ship, but just kind of curious.
Yeah, so we've really put in the stuff that's necessary to make it so it's safe for us to go international, to cross oceans, whether that's Atlantic or Pacific. We have the capability for both. Definitely some of the compass systems. We have ECDIS as our navigation system, but we also, just kind of out of tradition, we'll still do paper charts, navigation by stars, everything like that as training, and then we'll fall back on the more modern systems to make sure we're just on course and doing everything right.
Right on.
As for the sailing, actual movement of the boat, the only thing that I can say is really more modernized is the engine we use, and it's just a cleaner diesel engine. But we still use that minimally, and we're mostly sail powered.
Right, right. Excellent. I'll just pan up to take a look at all the sails there.
So, and then part of the reason this is a bark and not like a full rigged or anything like that is the front 2 masts have squaresels, and then this mizzen mast does not have any, and so that's what makes it a bark.
Interesting.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Yeah, thank you for that clarification.
Yeah,
That's
of course.
awesome.
So, one of the last things we can hit is, while Eagle is an old sailing ship and it is a training ship, we are still operational, so if needed, we could conduct a SAR. We'd most likely do it with these small boats here. They are designed by the Academy and then put onto the ship. They're center console, I believe there's normal engine on them. But yeah, we launch these pretty regularly just as drills for man overboards or search and rescues. So it's an old boat, but it's still got tricks up its sleeves.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Sure.
Well, it's operational, right? It's an operational
absolutely.
United States
Yep.
Coast Guard ship. So, yeah, if you have the call, you'll answer it.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, if we happen to be there.
Right on. So now, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, we're here in Victoria, British Columbia. Next stop for you guys, I think, is San Francisco.
Yep.
But how long are cadets typically on the ship?
So there's typically 2 rotations. The first rotation is about 5 weeks, and the second rotation is about 6 weeks. And then after that, we have what are called swab shorts, and those going through swab summer back at the Academy, which is our version of boot camp. They have a week on board as part of their training towards the end, just to get some sea time and show them a boat.
Right.
Since they've joined.
Okay. So you've got how many more weeks aboard?
About 1 week.
One more
I think
week.
7 days as of today.
Okay,
Yeah. So
right.
I'm reaching the end.
So if I were to ask you, like, what's been the highlight so far, and perhaps maybe what you will take away from this experience, what would that be?
It would probably be getting my topman qualification, which made it so I could bring people up in the rigging and actually climb with them and deal with the sails without a crew member needing to be there. That's definitely the highlight. It's also been it's meant the most to me because I really can help out when we're actually sailing and I know it's happening.
Sure.
Yeah, that's definitely the best part for me of my time on here.
That's awesome. And so you mentioned a week left, and then after you return back to New London, what's the next step for you in your journey as a cadet?
For me personally, the next step directly is I get to go home and I see my family. I haven't seen them for a couple months, so it'll be a real nice homecoming. I'll spend about 3 weeks there, and then I'll be going back and pursuing the rest of my degree until next summer when I'll be doing a similar summer rotation.
Okay. Oh, so this is not just a one and done type of a thing.
So being on Eagle can be. It depends on what path you choose. After this summer, options start to open up and you apply for different things.
Okay.
I could apply to come back to Eagle, be a cadre here, or firstie the year after.
Right.
Or I can do other things.
Currently on watch.
Awesome.
Leaving the boat deck for the onload of stores.
Super cool. So you could ask to come back here, or you could go to another ship and get some more
Yes, exactly.
hands-on time. Awesome. Well, wonderful. Well, Kevin, thank you so much for taking the time. I know, our time is limited here, but if you can walk me back towards, I guess.
We'll head back to where we started.
Yeah, beautiful. And I guess I should say, so right now we are, we're up top, obviously. How many more decks below us?
Below here we have the main deck, and then 3 more decks under that.
3 more decks. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
The one right below it is mostly berthing, some eating spaces.
Okay.
Below that is some mostly work spaces, a few berthing spaces, and under that is only engine and bilges.
Gotcha. Super cool.
Yeah.
Oh, what a privilege to be aboard. And
It's an amazing ship.
yeah, it really is. It really is. Super cool. Yeah, can't thank you enough for showing us around.
Oh
This is
yeah,
super
of
cool.
course. It's my pleasure.
Yeah, very cool.
So, back on the waist. Any lines here are going to be just for the main sails, just putting them up, anything like that. And we can also run and bring people on board from these sides on the waist.
Excellent.
So,
Excellent.
yeah.
Super cool.
And that.
Even looking through the door there, like washing, you have to wash clothes.
Yep,
so,
yep,
Yeah,
so
there are some modern amenities.
There are some modern amenities just to make it a little easier.
Yeah.
Washing machines, updated bathrooms, things like that.
Yeah.
Kind of the very basic things is what we updated, whether it's safety or hygiene.
Yeah.
And then we try to keep as much the same, but some things like laundry, you just gotta have them.
Well, I think quite candidly, it's probably nice that you have modernized, bathroom facilities as opposed to 1936, right?
Yes, for sure, definitely, yeah.
Yeah. No, this is super cool.
It would definitely be a little rougher if we didn't have some of that.
Yeah, totally.
And then I guess some of the stuff. This is the scullery. We'll wash dishes here.
Okay.
Just after this, we'll have a view into the galley where we'll make the bulk of the food for the crew.
Okay.
So this is passageway, and then past that is going to be the galley where they're, I believe, preparing dinner for tonight.
Ah, fantastic. That's awesome.
So yeah.
And what a beautiful view of the rigging up there.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. And
I always like to give a big shout out to our CSs. They're great. They're the reason the morale is so high. Is just they are very dedicated to what they do, cooking food, making sure that we're well cared for. So always got to give them a shout out.
yeah, absolutely. I'm with you there. I've sailed a lot on Allied Navy ships, and if you don't have good food, it really affects things. So yeah, totally cool. And I see that you guys are storing the ship right now. So
yep, we're bringing on some food for our next transit, just down to San Francisco now.
Right on. Well, I'll follow you to wherever's the best way that we can
We'll
wrap
go
it up.
We will not go up then. You want us to go up the other side? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go back around.
Sure, absolutely.
as you can see now, with tours being done, we're going to be cleaning up most of the rest of the night. Maybe a little bit of limo for us to all go get some dinner. Then we're going to just be preparing the ship to go back out to sea.
Right on.
So it should be about a 5-day transit. I believe it's up in the air exactly when we're coming in, just based on weather, repairs, things like that we need to do.
Yeah, particularly if you guys are relying on wind primarily as opposed to the engines. So
Yeah.
there's got to be a little bit of flex in there, right?
Yeah. So there's always that little bit, but
Yeah.
this is probably going to be the best spot to kind of end the interview. But yeah, I'm glad
Beautiful.
you were able to come on board and see the ship. I was
Well,
super happy to show it.
Kevin, I can't thank you enough. You know, this has been a great pleasure. My first time aboard the ship. Hopefully people will get a nice appreciation for the Coast Guard ship Eagle, and I guess technically cutter, right?
it's- yep.
for the Coast Guard. Thank you very much, and best of luck to you in your in the rest of your time at the Academy, and best of luck to you as you serve in the United States Coast Guard.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Really appreciate it.
Of course.
Thank you.